But
This meeting is being recorded.
good afternoon, everyone. It's January 10th. I'm Giles Edwards here on Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast, with my co-host this week, Pete Trbovich. Hello.
The inmates are running the asylum again.
That's right. With our boss on a secret mission in the Philippines, we're here to divert you for upwards of 10 to 15 minutes with the very few bits of weird movie news for releases this week. Since we have a lot of time, Pete, do you got any projects you want to pitch, or is a slow start to the new year?
Nothing specific. I am on Medium now, and I've been doing great with that. Never thought to join it before, so I'm kind of kicking myself, but I'm on there now. One story called "A Day in the Life of a Generation X 80s Arcade Rat," and that went viral. It's had a huge hit. I talk all about what it was like back in the arcade days when the only way you could play a video game was to go somewhere and spend a quarter. So, and it was quite possible if you followed the rumors and took a bus pass around town for a teenager to have enriched gaming life as long as you got in your exercise too. So that's fun. How about our 366 weird books? All those books.
Oh yeah, I believe that. Well, certainly, volume one of the hardcovers out. The full 1 and 2-ish things in one volume with the soft covers out. And I hear tell from Greg, who hears tell from the publishing house, that the second part of the hardback volume will be out any day now, any week now. He had one minor change that they're working on, so hopefully they will get their shoulders to the wheel, and then you can have a nice 2-volume set, which may require you to buy a second coffee table for your living room or den, but well worth it to have each of those on their own display board there. So that will be available, second part, very soon. Of course, buy up as many copies of the first volume as you want to, because I'm sure all your friends and their cousins really should get to know about the 366 original canon as we continue to beaver away at 366, bringing you the latest in weird movies with our Apocrypha, our festival coverage. Slam Dance is coming up in February, and I'll be covering that remotely. And of course, looking ahead to this summer, once again, Fantasia will roll around with its menu of delightful options, I'm sure, but that is months ahead. Meanwhile, let's see if I can do the proper clicking to bring up the 3 images for the 3 items on this week's official agenda. All right,
It
Pete.
is the January doldrum,
yes,
so tickets are slow.
Yeah. They are, but I'm sure as weeks continue, of course, doldrums will dissipate, and next week you'll be seeing my face and the face of L. Rob Hubbard, and possibly a guest. I believe that's still up in the air, of course, with our boss on secret mission in the Philippines. It's we're doing the best we can. So Pete, do you see an image before you?
Why, yes, I do. by coincidence.
Excellent.
Motel Hell. I'm silly today. Don't mind me. Anyway, this is an image of a guy in a grotesque pig mask with a chainsaw in front of a board stating Motel Hell. It takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters.
That's
a
right.
Tagline from a beloved cult classic, and I guess it's now coming back out on something.
Yes, this is a steelbook, which I often pitch as the ultimate in DVD release technology, because it's steel.
Really?
It's not too serious recommendation, but it is cool. It is a quote Walmart exclusive. It is from the Shout Factory, and we know those are good people when it comes to this kind of genre picture. And let's see what we got in here. Okay, it looks like I'm not seeing much information about extras, but it will look nice, especially with that delightful cover. I reviewed this a little over a year ago and had good things to say about it. The lead, Rory Calhoun, is absolutely wonderful as Farmer Vincent, who takes a philosophical outlook on his, shall we say, harvesting of people. There's a wonderful scene as they're about to, I believe it's when they're about to collect the recently planted bodies of some either groupies or rock and roll musicians, and he muses to his sister, "Sometimes I wonder about the karmic implication of these acts." And I thought, that's nice. I don't really hear many calmly, quietly, biblically introspective serial killers. So I liked the movie up to that point, and then that was just some nice icing on the cake. So that can be yours from the Walmart exclusive Steelbook. Will look good, 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray for those who don't have the 4K technology. So that is something I may be considering myself. Let us slip now deftly to the second of our three items, which let's see, can I? Oop, got it. There we go.
Where's the second one?
Rampo Noir. This is, gosh, a much more cluttered DVD.
Kind of abstract.
Abstract, but it makes sense because I see it's in 4 quadrants.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, yeah, now I'm seeing it. It's kind of small.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. There we go.
There you are, and big enough. There you are.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this is a collage of 4 different scenes from, I presume, from scenes of Rampo Noir.
Yeah.
Titled over it, and looks like some Asian writing on it too.
I'm gonna guess those are Japanese characters, judging from the country of origin here. This is a sort of anthology-esque film from Tadanobu Asano, described by our boss way back in 2016 as 4 experimental stories of sex and madness adapted from the works of Edogawa Rampo, which was an author. I may have passed away since, but if you say his name a certain way, it sounds a bit like Edgar Allan. It's a sort of a riff on Edgar Allan Poe. He did macabre stories. The 4 in here is a man regrets a rape, a killer strikes through mirrors, a wife cares for her husband who is a human torso, and the 4th, a limo driver is obsessed with a stage actress. This was back when we used to argue why it wouldn't make the list. It is being dismissed for unevenness, although even the best segments probably would not merit inclusion in the list of greatest weird movies of all time, which is not they're not good. It's just that they fall more squarely into horror than what we're up to here at Weird Movies. But regardless, this sounds like a worthy inclusion from the good people, I believe, at Arrow. If my series of elaborate drop-down menus will calm down, I can click through here. Here we go. Yes, limited edition Rampo Noir is coming out from Arrow Video, and of course we all know Arrow are great people, finally giving the Criterion treatment to movies that aren't so boring. I mean, aren't so art house. And
alrighty,
so that is out, and that's exciting, beautiful picture here. And the Blu-ray is snip at $19.99, or if you want to spend almost $10 more, you can get a DVD. So, well, that I guess might make a decision for you. So let's Rampo Noir has hit the discs. This is now means we are 2/3 through what we're up to here. So let me just click around my screens once again, and we will see what number 3 is. Here we go. Looks like a movie poster to me. Or DVD.
Yes, and this is a stylized, sort of fractured font saying things will be different over a keyhole framing image of 2 characters inside this keyhole illustration. It has a hall of mirrors thing going on. One of them appears to be armed with a rifle of sorts. And the blurb is a dark, complex time travel film. You want to rewatch it as soon as it ends. And probably you'll want to rewatch it because you can't figure it out, right? As most time travel movies are.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of seeing this. This was produced by Benson and Moorhead. We're fans of their work with The Endless and the other movies within that same story universe. And this movie, I believe, was written and directed by oh gosh, it's either the editor or the cinematographer they've worked with a whole lot.
Huh.
Considering the nature of the movie, I'm going to guess it might be the editor. Regardless, this is a wonderful film directed by Michael Felker that I saw, oh gosh, just about 4 months back. I thought it was a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of neat little time shift, time twisty things with these brother and sister characters who, yes, spend a good deal of the movie well armed for reasons, made pretty clear in the movie. They go into this safe house and then go around resetting all the clocks with nice old fashioned wind key, and then cower in the closet and kind of disappear from time for 2 weeks. But unfortunately, as so often is the case with these time shift, time alteration movies, things don't go as they'd hope, and there's a lot of mess to clean up. There's a wonderful cameo in this film from let's see, let's see if I can quickly scroll through my review here. One of the two, oh yeah, Benson, he shows up as one of those great sort of time bureaucrats, a big shiny backlight, so we see the silhouette of a workstation with him across from another woman who's in the time maintenance.
So managed time travel, huh?
Yeah, so there's a wonderful.
There's like a bureau and an agency that clears people for time travel and all that stuff. Or
it's sort of like they're monitoring things, and it's one of those. Yeah, I like those. I know that has been played with a whole lot, and I always like the.
Rick and Morty did it.
Yeah, well,
amongst others. But yeah, time travel movies. I just wanted to know: did you happen to see either Triangle or Time Crimes?
Triangle Time Crimes. I have not.
Yeah. Greg liked Time Crimes, and then when he reviewed Triangle, he kind of dismissed it as a ripoff of Time Crimes, which is kind of, sort of, I can see part of that, but at the same time, I really think Triangle adds a lot to it. These are both time travel movies as well. Cases where the protagonist has multiple copies of themselves running around at different points in the plot at the same time. Okay. So those are always especially confusing, but you can usually track it pretty much all straight through. I remember Triangle was one of the few movies, just like Primer, that people immediately jumped on the internet with these big charts with lines going.
Oh, Primer! Yeah, I have seen Primer. Excuse me. Yes.
Yeah. Huh?
Oh, just you saying it again. Yes, I have seen Primer. Yeah.
Yeah, Primer. There you go. Yeah, which. Really, I couldn't believe how much of a huge splash that movie made. It was the early days of the internet. It was back in 2004, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And then when I saw it, I'm like, this is engineers mumbling for half an hour.
Yeah, one of those things where you can believe, I don't know, for some reason I'm remembering a sum of something like 13 grand being the budget, and I can readily believe that because it's very, it's technical talk with, boxes for
basically like
and whatever the system is. So, but still a fascinating thing. And I out there, probably pretty easy to look up. There's a wonderful diagram of how the process works in a
flow chart. And how it's been tracing all the timelines of everybody going back and forth at the same time over in the movie. Yeah.
So this is one of those things where I'm always inclined to believe that anyone who's going out of their way to make this particular kind of, they're usually thrillers, at least to one degree or another, whoever's going out of their way to do something this complex, I trust them that it works out. Like, I won't be scouring a movie like that looking for problems. As a general rule, I don't do that anyway. But at any rate, Things Will Be Different is out on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime to rent. It's on Blu-ray, which I believe may be old news, but it's now also on DVD. So the 3 contemporary ways to watch a movie, they're all there for you. I recommend it. And think that more for Michael Felker will be good. And of course, I always enjoy seeing Menson and or Moorhead on screen, since they're affable, fun time, good actor guys. So that is our third bit of weird news, which leaves us at not quite the halfway mark this week. I'm trying to
I
think.
do see some Blu-rays and 4K Blu-rays coming up. The Substance is getting released. Did we cover
Oh,
that yet?
good. Good. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let me take a quick look with my internet box here.
I
The
believe
subs-
The Substance, wasn't that Demi Moore?
yeah, yeah. We
And
talked
she actually won an Oscar for it, and it was about time, too.
darn
Or
right. I've
Oscar or
heard,
something.
yeah, I've heard
Golden
amazing
Globe?
things.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, yep, it is coming out. It says pre-order. Let's see if I click this button, if they'll tell me when that pre-order, because I imagine we needn't talk too much about this at this time since it's not quite. Okay, so that is coming out in 11 days from when you're seeing this. So we'll probably knock that out again when I chat with L. Rob Hubbard, or maybe the week after that. Who knows? But yeah, Substance, heard great things, was toward the top of our weird list this year, compiled between Greg's, Rob's, and my remarks. So yeah, I guess this is a good segue. I hear a lot on film social medias about the death of cinema and how everything's crummy, and my observation suggests that that is just not true, with my suspicion being that those who are saying that might have more rose-colored glasses on than they might care to admit about the past, which has any number of movies that aren't that great. We just don't remember them.
Yeah.
And certainly,
well, the modern day is really the modern day. There's still a rich, wonderful cinema environment out there. You just have to get out of the blockbuster theaters and the major studios. Get out of Hollywood, go to the indies, and find the indies as much as possible.
yeah.
And that's where it's all happening. It's kind of like what happened to music. Everybody complains that radio is all just boring top 40 durables, same 5 songs. But if you get off of that and go to the world of bands on Bandcamp and YouTube, there's a whole universe of mad scientists doing crazy new things with music you never thought of.
Yeah,
So it's really going to swing that way for movies too, I think.
yeah, it's the kind of thing where technology has progressed so far that movie production is within the scope of just about anyone. One can make, phones and recording ability on phones these days surpasses by yards and miles what, the amateur videographer could hope to, even just in the early 90s with, the most souped up home VHS recorder that they might be able to get their hands on. So yeah, it's production is not a problem, but yes, it is the distribution and the raising awareness about, whatever special thing you and your team may have put together. So cinema is, by golly, it's not dead, just in case you were thinking that it might be.
Yeah. It's January. It's easy to think anything's dead in January.
Oh God, yeah, we got it suddenly became winter here this past month after a very soggy December. So yeah, some annoyingly high winds, cold temperatures, and yeah, a dead, barren landscape outside these walls.
Well, January, the movies kind of taper off too.
It's that's in sympathy with the weather, I guess, or the other way around. Who can say? But that said, well, I guess we might as well keep this relatively brief for you all. So thank you very kindly for watching or listening to Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast. This has been Giles Edwards with Pete Trbovich, and you can Penguin Pete Trbovich, Penguin Pete, a man of at least a couple names.
It's easier than just Trbovich, Anyway, give my regards to L. Rob Hubbard next week. I've been reading this man for years, and I never get a chance to be on the same podcast as him.
Oh, well, I'm sure.
Yeah, one of these days, I'm sure our dance cards will coincide.
Yeah. I imagine an episode hosted by the pair of you could be quite a lot of fun.
That'd be interesting.
But something, Greg's always looking for excuses not to host, including going to the Philippines, man. But that's it from us this week. As Pete said, hinted at, next week, yes, it will be me and L. Rob Hubbard, and we might have a guest. I don't know. Anyhow, thanks.
A mystery guest.
Or so mysterious.
Word up.
And with a magic click of this button, I say farewell, everybody.
Bye-bye. Oh.